Greetings and snowy salutations, comic book conversationalists. This is Comic Book Hangover once again with a new weekly haul, weekly review video. Got another small week, not totally dominated by Marvel like it was last week. I actually only got one Marvel book this week, and that was Spider-Man 2099, number 2. He faces off against the 2099 iteration of Dracula. From DC, got some DC books this week. Fables, number 161. There's only one more issue to go in this series, and hopefully that issue comes out soon, because this is only supposed to be a year-long thing, but because of all that stuff that happened with DC screwing over Bill Willingham, this book suffered the consequences and wound up being delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. This should have been done and over with by now, but it isn't. Unfortunately, my LCS only got the A cover this time, but I put in the request to get the B cover because it's Fables, and I'd like to have as many Fables as I can in my collection. Also from DC, Batman Beyond, number 1, the Facsimile Edition. And again, with the DC facsimiles, really the only way to know the difference by looking at the cover as to whether or not you're having a facsimile edition or an original is you got to look at that price right there. This was not originally a $3.99 book, so you want to look at that price. And you can also, if you're doing this off of Amazon, off of eBay or whatever, you can ask the seller to look at the back cover, because you're always going to have that DC logo there, the cover price, and the UPC box will always be on the back of the DC facsimile editions. From Skybound Image, of course, my big book for this week, Transformers number 4. I grabbed the regular cover, and I also grabbed this variant cover, which I have special plans for, because this cover, let me pull this guy out here. It's been my first time actually seeing it myself. But this cover is kind of a gatefold cover. Front and back, right there. Front and back cover. Optimus Prime jumping into action. Gotta love that. This I'm actually planning on putting in a frame and hanging this up on the wall, because that cover, that is absolutely gorgeous. That is beautiful. So those are all the regular books that I picked up this week. I also grabbed, this came in as well, because I love some EC comics. This is EC Archives, Crime Suspense Stories, Volume 1. This covers the first 6 issues of Crime Suspense Stories. Classic EC, not really horror stories. These are more crime eccentric, as I say, but you still have those O. Henry endings, those twist endings to a lot of them. But there were stories in these ones here, starting with issue 3. Look at the back. Starting with issue 3, there were stories of from the Haunt of Fear. So you had the old witch making appearances in this. Now these are only $19.99. They are trade paperback, sort of paperback graphic novels, and great, brilliant, beautiful, bold, and vibrant colors. You have the entire issues printed as they were done originally. They look great. They look gorgeous, and I absolutely love them. I need to really get down to reading these. The only thing that really sucks is I've got a couple of them that are still in storage. I knew I should have kept them out of storage, but for whatever reason, I put them in storage. But I have a lot of these here at the house. I've been getting them for a while. It's been over a year, so I probably have about close to 10 of them by now. But I'm getting the 3 horror titles, which is the Tales from the Crypt, the Vault of Horror, and the Haunt of Fear. I'm also grabbing Crime Suspense Stories and Shock Suspense Stories, and then Weird Science and Weird Fantasy. So, because I love some EC stuff. All right, so those are all the books that I picked up this week. Now, before we do the cover of the week, there is there's a couple of books I do want to talk about. And before we go into that, I do want to start. I want to kind of get into the habit of saying, okay, so from here on in, there's going to be spoilers. There will be stuff about what happened in the stories and my opinions on them. So there will be spoilers here. So if you don't want to know what's going on, go ahead and just turn off the video right now. It's fine. But the first one I want to talk about is Spider-Man 2099, number 2. This is number 2 of 5. And when I heard it was going to be Tomb of Dracula, I honestly, there really haven't been many people these days that have been able to write Dracula to make him interesting like he used to be. Back in the Tomb of Dracula series back in the 70s, Dracula was a great character. He was kind of an aristocrat. He was very arrogant, very self-assured, and just it was always just about himself. And also, he's kind of like Doctor Doom in a sense. He's always about himself, but he's also about his fellow vampires. He wants the vampires to succeed and thrive. And so when he comes back, there is a reference to an event that happened years before where the vampires had their own city state or country or something, and a group of extremists attacked it and wiped them all out, except for Dracula and and a few of his people. And Dracula was trying to protect his people. He was injured so badly that he was put into a coffin and launched to the moon so that he could recover, under darkness or whatever. So this year he winds up being revived, and he wants to get revenge for the vampires. But he finds out at the end of the story that the vampires haven't been all wiped out. They just left Earth. So the people, the humans, the normal people, the smart people realize that, hey, just because they're vampires, that's not the reason to wipe them all out. We can come to an agreement. They wound up finding a planet for them. They made up a chemical that would turn water into blood and sent them on their way. They're under the rule of Lilith, the daughter of Dracula. So in this one here, he kind of goes from having that anger, but then when he realizes, hey, it's not as bad as he thought it would be, he wound up going to this other planet. So in a lot of ways, I would like to see a continuation of that. But this was much better written than I thought it would be. Dracula was both horrific and sympathetic in this. I thought they did a good job on it, and the art was really good as well. But Spider-Man 2099, I gotta say, I was very, very pleased with how that was done. And then there is my favorite book of the week. Once again, knocking it out of the park, Transformers #4. And really, the only thing that can be said about this is this gives us two major things in this one. Number one, two major things for me. Number one, you really see how ruthless this version of Starscream is. I mean, there's basically just 3 Decepticons, and there's 2 Seekers, and there's Soundwave and some of his cassettes, and the other Seeker gets hurt from his previous fight with Optimus Prime, and they need Cybertronian parts to sort of help resurrect more Decepticons. And the only way that they can find those parts is to kill this other Decepticon. And there's a panel where they go after him, and he's injured, so he can't defend himself. But he is ripped apart and used for spare parts. It is just so cold. And it's like this version of Starscream is not the Chris Latta voiced Starscream from the animated series. This guy is vicious. This guy is cold, and he is calculating. But we also get, and this is probably what the spoiler cover was. I believe there's a spoiler variant for this one, but you have this great, because Prime is missing an arm, and they have another arm, another right arm for Prime to use from another Transformer. He was hesitant to use it, but he needs that arm. And they don't have enough energy, and there's not enough energy in the Matrix to rebuild his arm the way it should be. So the arm they have, and again, major spoiler here, the arm that they use is Megatron's arm. So you got that shot there of Optimus Prime with Megatron's right arm, and on that right arm is his fusion cannon. It is an amazing shot. Never thought I would see the day where we would have something like that. But it's another amazing issue, well written. The pacing on this is really good. I'm really enjoying the way that this is paced, where you have these moments of action, but it's like it's almost a perfect balance where you have just enough action to keep your interest in the book, and then you start the story and the character development, and that's just interesting enough. So you have that great balance. It's sort of like early Walking Dead, where you have that balance of action and character development and story creation. It's so well done, and the art, just the way they draw the Transformers transforming. I mean, I know we're supposed to say convert now. Hasbro says we're no longer using the word transform. It's actually convert. That's crap. I'm old school. It's transform. It's not Autobots convert and roll out. It's Autobots transform and roll out. So as far as I'm concerned, if this guy says transform, the word is transform. But when they have the transformations in the issues, it's the way they do it. It's just so cool. And another great issue, knocking it out of the park. Absolutely loving this series to pieces. I mean, I every issue, it's like I'm like, okay, so is this going to be the issue where it sort of plateaus and we've reached where we're going to be with this? And we're 4 issues in, and every issue is just more and more exciting and has more stuff that you just do not see coming than there was in the previous issue. And of course, in the next actually next week, we have Cobra Commander #1 coming out. I'm so excited about that. And I was going to, and I actually requested through Comic Hub, through my comic shop, 1 cover. I was going to try to keep it just to 1 cover, but then I started seeing some of the variants. So I may have more than 1 cover for Cobra Commander #1. I'm hoping not, but that may happen. So now as far as cover of the week goes, and actually before I do that, if you could, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that fun stuff, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I think I have found a new program to sort of edit these videos a little bit. I'm not as familiar with it as I was with Clipchamp, so it's gonna be a few bumps in the road. But I mean, and actually, I guess I could pose this question to you guys out there, you guys that watch my videos. Is it something you want to see where I have, like little graphics and pictures and whatnot, like I was doing? Is that something that you really want to see? Is that something that keeps your interest in these videos, or just a talking head battling about comic books that he gets every week? Is that which would you prefer? So, let me know if I don't get any responses. Then I mean, I'll just continue to try to evolve these a little bit and make them more interesting for me, and hopefully they're interesting for you as well. Now, as far as cover of the week goes, we're still going to go with this Transformers #4, the gatefold cover, because that is absolutely gorgeous. I can't get over this cover. I love this cover, and I cannot wait to have it in a frame, hanging on a wall. I'm hoping to be able to have a comic book room or something set up where I can have these up on the wall here very, very soon. Because I'm also grabbing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Dark Matter or Dark Grid or whatever it is. I'm grabbing the zombie variant covers for those, as you guys have seen. And those, my plan is to have frames for those and have those hanging up on the wall, because those are pretty awesome. But that said, everybody, thanks for watching. I know we got this big snowstorm coming through. As I'm recording this right now, it is kind of hitting here. But honestly, I got to say, I think the people who report on these things are people who really have no idea what these storms are like, because they were talking about this storm like it was going to be just big snowmageddon, and it's just like a regular Michigan snowstorm. Right now it is anyway. We're supposed to get it. We could get up like to 8 to 12 inches is what they're saying. So we'll probably only get like 4 inches. But it would be really cool if we did get a nice storm. We got out of school early because of it. We got this 3-day weekend coming up, so we'll be able to recover from it completely. And yeah, it's fun. It's nice to have a snowstorm. I mean, I'm one of the people that I'm glad to have a snowstorm, because it's Michigan, it's winter, we should have one. And I want the boys to be able to enjoy some snow as well. It's fun to watch the kids play in the snow. But that said, everybody, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your continued support. And once again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I will see everybody next week. And if I'm able to do any graphics on this one, I hope you guys enjoy them. If not, let me know. I mean, I'm doing these videos essentially for myself, but I'm okay with sort of catering to you guys a little bit, because if you're going to watch my videos, I want to be able to give you something more than just, what you don't want to watch, what you don't want to see. So just let me know. Let me know what's going on. And I will see everybody next week with another weekly haul. We'll have fully recovered from the snow. And next week is going to be Cobra Commander #1. I cannot wait to get that book. So let's get to it. All right. We'll see everybody next week, and have a great weekend. We will see you all. Yeah, I just said that. See you all next weekend. So have a good one. See ya.